Before we get started, I have an important message. If you're on Medicare or about to be, you don't want to go it alone. And you don't want to just call the first guy who sends you a postcard. My husband did that, and he wound up with some bad advice that costs us a penalty each month that will never go away. So, what can you do? Contact one of our member experts by going to certifiedmedicareagents.com and searching your state for an agent. You'll be able to look through our member agents and read about them. Then you can reach out to the agent or broker you select directly through the site. Now, one thing you should know is other sites who do this sell your information to 15 or more agents so you can get hundreds of unwanted phone calls. Not so with certifiedmedicareagents.com. You'll only be contacted by one agent, and if there is a problem, I may personally reach out to you. But generally, you will only hear from the one agent you select. So head on over there right now before you forget and find a qualified and certified agent that can help you today. Now, let's start our program. Welcome back to the Rock Your Retirement Show. I'm your host, Kathe Kline, and today I'm introducing a new retiree to you. And her name is Betsy, but don't worry, Barbara will still be checking in. Retirement is a major milestone that many of us look forward to, but we might not be certain about what to do when it arrives. So to better understand this new phase of life, I've interviewed hundreds of retirees and people who are about to retire and asked them their thoughts. And unsurprisingly, their answers varied a lot, but some common themes emerged. The first theme was freedom. Not having to be available to coworkers or bosses and not being tied down to a specific job were two aspects mentioned in regards to freedom in retirement. Also tied to freedom was the idea that you're finally free to do whatever it is that you want to do, and of course, the freedom to travel. Another word that kept coming up was relaxation. Some reported that without the hustle and bustle of employment, retirement became very calming, peaceful, and relaxed. Other retirees mentioned being carefree, having no commitments, and being able to be and do whatever they wanted during the day. These individuals found a lot of joy in having autonomy over how they spend each day, whether it be gardening, learning a new skill, volunteering, or taking up a new hobby.
I think I'm in a good place where it's just time to move on to that next phase. And it's an exciting adventure. I have a stepson. My husband and I started dating probably about 8 years before we got married. So my stepson has been in my life for a long time. He was only about 5 years old when my husband and I first met, and now he's gone off to college. It's just wonderful seeing him go off to college and thinking about that time of a person's life when just the whole world is open to them, and they get the opportunity to meet new friends and just explore what's next. And I think I'm kind of thinking the same way about retirement for myself. It's a chance to really take on the next phase, and like new windows will be opening up for me. I'm excited about it.
Betsy plans on rocking her retirement and wants to share her experiences with the podcast listeners. Betsy's lived in Chicago for 27 years, and she loves the city for its diverse neighborhoods, great food, culture, and much more. However, high taxes and some other issues make her uncertain about staying in the city forever. She grew up in Colorado and lived in Seattle for a few years, and she loves nature, oceans, and mountains. And she got married at the age of 54 and has a history of being very independent. When we asked about her love life, she amazed us with some of her words.
So I have a real history of being very independent, and my husband and I aren't the type of couple that have to be like attached at the hip and do absolutely everything together. We both have our own friends, and while we love spending time together, we also enjoy time kind of doing our own thing, our own hobbies and things like that. I'm definitely not worried at all about being bored in my retirement. I think there's so many fantastic things that I can do. My husband's a few years younger than me, so he will continue to work. I think maybe that would be an interesting thing to explore more with the listeners of the podcast is when one spouse is retired and the other one isn't. I'm going to hope to not make my husband too jealous with all the fun activities that I'm doing and things like that. I do like to cook, so I think he'll benefit from me having more time to look at recipes and cook new things and stuff like that.
We totally understand that retirement comes with a lot of free time, but you can always utilize it for your family and your well-being. It doesn't have to stop you from doing anything or changing your routine at all. Betsy is very optimistic and proud of what she's done in her life.
I'm super proud of everything I've accomplished in my career. I feel like I've done a lot of great work, and it's very, very gratifying to work for nonprofit organizations with being able to work toward a mission that's bigger than ourselves and make a difference in the world. But I think sometimes people hear you work for a nonprofit organization and they think it's just all kind of sunshine and roses. But nonprofit organizations have the same issues that any big corporation, especially if it's a big nonprofit, where there can be office politics and unproductive meetings and things like that. I'm ready to not work 40 hours a week. I'm ready to just move on to a new stage of my life. I'm not looking to retire to like get away from this. I'm ready to retire because it's time to move to the next phase of my life. And while I'm still young enough to really be able to get out and enjoy things.
Age is just a number. The role of a husband during retirement, younger? Betsy and her husband had been married for a few years.
Well, only a few years younger. I feel like I'm ready kind of for a number of reasons. Like I said, with my job, I'm just ready to move on to something else and the next phase of my life. Also, both of my parents passed away within the last 4 years, and that's gotten me thinking a lot more about my own mortality.
When deciding how to spend your retirement years, it may be worth considering the benefits that come with having a younger spouse alongside you. The life of a retiree is all too often one filled with loneliness and monotony. Not with my listeners, though. With the right partner in your golden years, however, this can be drastically changed for the better. And that's one of the reasons in my pillars of, the lifestyle pillars of retirement, that significant other is one of those pillars. So let's move on to another point regarding retirement. Undoubtedly, retirement is an exciting concept, but there are risks associated with its planning that cannot be overlooked by those who are looking forward to this life chapter. That risk is the risk of not having saved enough or having saved too much. And although we don't really talk about money on the show, it is something that we need to think about. So on one hand, the risk of not having saved enough is evident and can be unsettling for those who are entering their retirement years. After years of hard work and dedication, no one wants to outlive their money and not having enough for a comfortable retirement. When we asked Betsy about her financial status, she was satisfied with what she has in the bank and what she's going to get.
Financially, in spite of the stock market kind of going into the tank, my financial advisor feels I'm okay. My husband will still be working for a few more years, so I can get his insurance and things like that.
You become confident and experienced with age. Our full of life guest has her own theory of retirement. We would like you to learn and grasp as much as you can from her 5 pillars of retirement, different from my 6, to help you better prepare for this unexpected yet beautiful phase of life.
Friends, family, and relationships is number one, because I think nourishing all those bonds is really important. My mother-in-law is elderly and she's a wonderful person. I look forward to spending more time with her, going on date nights and traveling with my husband. Things like that will be wonderful. My friend Sherry is also retiring around the same time, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun together. Sherry and I are actually planning a trip to go to Morocco. Health and wellness is another pillar of mine. I think exercising, cooking healthy food, enjoying the outdoors, getting enough sleep, all that stuff. Lifelong learning. I really don't think I'm going to be bored at all in retirement. I'm a curious person. I enjoy learning. I think there's so many different fun classes, like maybe even just to learn how to take better pictures using my iPhone or something, or how to play the guitar or cooking lessons.
And then she explains her 4th pillar of retirement.
Giving back to the community. I want to explore different volunteer opportunities. I feel like there's so many. It'll be fun to just kind of determine what's like the right fit for me. And then my last one is fun, travel, and adventure, kind of all lumped in. So yeah, the trip to Morocco will be a big one to kick off that fun travel and adventure. I like going to street festivals on weekends. At my office, my coworkers always said that I was like the person to come into work on Monday with the best stories of what I did over the weekend, because it's always packed with lots of fun activities. I even took a class in how to swim like a mermaid.
So, in preparing for retirement, Betsy shares that she's been using websites such as an early retirement forum and this podcast to help her prepare for retirement. I promised to send her a list of episodes where previous guests discussed retirement preparation. If any of our listeners are about to retire, do let us know about your preparation. However, a few guests have talked about books they've read and found helpful in their retirement planning. In one of our previous shows, we had Barbara, a retiree who had read many books before retirement, and we asked her which ones were the most helpful. As our conversation turns to insurance, Betsy reveals that her husband's job allows him to provide her insurance, making it easier for her to retire early. Betsy reveals that she's currently on her company's insurance because it costs a little less. However, she plans to switch to her husband's insurance when open enrollment comes around.
Yeah, I think that definitely helps for me to be able to retire earlier, because that's kind of the biggest thing if you retire before you've reached the age where you can go on Medicare.
We discuss our experience with the Affordable Care Act and its insurance coverage and mention that many people do qualify for subsidies under the ACA, but the insurance coverage in their area might not be as good as expected. The doctors in my area do not always accept ACA insurance, making it difficult for people in the 60 to 64 range who want to retire but cannot due to insurance concerns. And I'm personally 58, and I have these same concerns. Lucky for Betsy, she has good insurance through her husband's job. I ask whether she currently is covered under her own company or her husband's insurance.
Actually, right now he's on my insurance because it costs a little bit less. We evaluated it each year. I'll go on his next year. And hopefully before he gets to the point where he's ready to retire, who knows, maybe there'll be some change where Medicare could start earlier.
Betsy shares her retirement plans with us and talks about her pillars for a successful retirement. We discussed her upcoming trip to Morocco, which she plans to take with her friend Sherry, and the advantages of traveling with a friend who is also retired. Betsy's husband is still working, and they plan to take future vacations together. Each person's retirement journey is unique and beautiful in its own way. Betsy is eager to share her perspective on retirement, as she does not have grandchildren to spend time with, and her husband is not yet retired.
I think he's a little jealous, but I don't think Morocco was on the top of his bucket list. And we'll go on some other fabulous trips together, as we have in the past. We went to Cuba together. We went to Iceland together. So we've had some fabulous vacations. We went to Ireland just this summer with my stepson. That was fantastic. My husband has relatives in Ireland, and we met up with them, and it was a really great trip and a really wonderful thing to do with my stepson right before he went off to college. He just started college a few weeks ago.
There is a secret in every heart. Each person carries with them a unique story, a set of experiences and emotions that shape who they are. Sometimes we may not fully understand what someone else is going through or what they're feeling, but if we take the time to listen and empathize, we may uncover the secret within their heart. Retirement is a significant milestone that marks the end of a long career and the beginning of a new phase of life. It is a time when people have the opportunity to pursue new interests, spend more time with family and friends, and enjoy the fruits of their labor. However, retirement is also a time that can bring new challenges, including financial uncertainty, changes in social roles and relationships, and the need to establish a new sense of purpose and meaning. It is to understand that if you witness someone about to retire, then they certainly have their own fears and doubts regarding the transition from work-focused lifestyle to retirement. They may be concerned about financial stability, loss of social connections, or a lack of purpose and direction in their daily lives. It's important to recognize and empathize with these concerns and to offer support and resources to help them navigate through this major life change. Encouraging them to stay engaged in hobbies, volunteering, or other meaningful activities can also help alleviate some of their fears and provide a sense of fulfillment in retirement. Likewise, Betsy has some ideas in mind, but she's not made up her mind to share this news with her family and friends yet.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do anything quite that crazy, but yeah. But yeah, I'm really excited to be on the show, and I think I've loved listening to Barbara, but I feel like I'll bring a different perspective to the listeners.
Now, we have to respect the individual and diversity of each person's experiences. Retirement can be a major life transition, and a variety of factors such as career path, financial situation, personal preferences, and family dynamics that can shape each person's journey. Some people may choose to retire early, while others may continue working well into their senior years. Some may have saved enough to retire comfortably, while others may face financial challenges. Some may see retirement as an opportunity to travel and pursue new hobbies, while others may struggle with a sense of loss or purpose. Regardless of the specifics, each person's retirement story is unique and deserves to be respected. By acknowledging and valuing the diversity of retirement experiences, we can better support and celebrate the individual journeys of those around us, and thus plan our own retirements. That's the purpose of this show. We can learn from what other people are doing, and that can help shape our retirement when we're ready. So I'm excited to follow Betsy's retirement journey and to share it with you, the listener. So stay tuned for more episodes. And don't forget, we are following not just Betsy, we still have Barbara, and we have Ed and Cynthia, who are completely different because they didn't save as much as our other two guests. So we have a lot of diversity going on this show now. And I'm looking forward to sharing their stories. So I'll see you next time on the Rock Your Retirement Show. Bye.